Hi guys, glass half dead. So they showed a trailer for Warcry, right? I was excited for Warcry. I was thinking, kill team in Age of Sigmar, right? Cool. I don't need anything more than that. You know, a slightly better supported version of Age of Sigmar Skirmish. Great. The only thing I said was do not make it chaos only. You know what? If we get that game and I could just use any miniature, don't make it chaos only. I won't play that. Right? Just give me Age of Sigmar, Skirmish. Don't make it chaos only. Support it better than you supported the original product. And you know what? If they want to make the game chaos only, that's fine. That's fine. But they have to understand, right, that chaos is what? One out of the 17 factions you can play? Is that how many it is? And they're cutting out so much of the player base. And Games Workshop really has to understand that just because you release a game that is chaos only, people aren't going to suddenly start buying chaos products. Okay? Just because they do that doesn't mean their plans are going to work. I don't really like chaos. Okay? So why can't they make a game for me? That was the second one of these. Why can't we just have every different warband, whatever the race, heading to the all points? Right? Why do they have to make it chaos only when not everybody likes chaos? Not everybody wants to play chaos. I don't. But you force me to, Games Workshop. Fuck. My wallet. Ow. Let's look at the trailer. Come on.
Okay, look, I know what you're thinking. You just saw the trailer, first time maybe, or maybe you've seen it before, and you're thinking, it looks like, and as we're about to find out when I read exactly what the announcement is, it looks like, Glass, all of those models are new models. Therefore, to play this game Warcry, you don't need to buy any of the old Chaos models. I know. I have a problem. Anyway, let's read, because isn't that great fun? This is Warcry, a new skirmish game for the makers of Kill Team and Warhammer Underworlds that allows you to experience the visceral carnage of battle in the mortal realms in a whole new way. Now, quick note. Okay, so there it just says it's from the makers of Kill Team and Warhammer Underworlds, but in the previous one it said combining the best aspects of the two. Let's keep going because that's going to be relevant soon. This is more than just a skirmish version of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which already exists. We know that. It's hyperkinetic, it's tactical, no Oxford comma at this point. Just going to throw that out there. You absolute trash, Games Workshop. And it's very, very bloody, featuring bold new game mechanics. So this is nothing but marketing copy. Like, this is bad. This is bad to read. And bold new game mechanics? Piss off. No, it's not. I'm going to be rolling a d6, and then you're going to roll a d6, and we'll say, oh, you failed the wound roll. Hyperkinetic? Do they know what the word kinetic means? I think they just had a new press intern, and they said, hey, write this. We need one paragraph. Let's keep going. Maybe it gets better. Warcry is perfect for narrative players looking to forge character-driven campaigns where warbands grow and develop through their own journey. Okay. Meanwhile, gamers looking for a close-matched, fast and exciting experience will find a game that fits both their coffee table and coffee break. Interesting. Okay. So, not competitive at all. We see that straight away. That's fine. Not competitive. However, However, not competitive, but quick to play. Now that is interesting. So one of the reasons I don't play Necromunda, aside from the fact that there aren't many people around me that play it, is that I think of Necromunda as a bit of a long game, right? It's not a pick up and bang out a quickie kind of game. You need to really, I don't know. I mean, I've played it once, and it didn't take that long, to be fair. But I don't think of it as a short game. You know, it's not a Shadespire, it's not a kill team. It's a bit longer, I think. Anyway, if you're telling me that, let's say they just took the Necromunda rules and condensed them in some way, I'm assuming by number of models, bit more of rules flow, I don't know, and said, hey, you can play this in 20 minutes, half hour. Then I say, oh, okay, well, actually, yeah, that does speak to me somewhat more. But obviously, from what they say, narrative players looking to forge character-driven campaigns where warbands grow and develop, it's definitely Necromunda, not kill team. More time, not skirmish. Okay, let's keep going. In the game, you'll follow the myriad tribes of Chaos, Reavers and Despoilers from every corner of the realms, as they make their dark pilgrimage to the Varanspire. There is a book called Varanspire, by the way. I haven't read it, but I hear it's okay. Warcry explores a never-before-seen side of life and death. I see we still have the marketing intern here. Okay, nice. In the Age of Sigmar. Every model for this game is brand new. Wow. Didn't need to buy any of that crap I just bought, did I? Reflecting on the dizzying diversity of chaos on a scale never attempted before and rooted in rich lore that realizes the servants of the Dark Gods as deep and varied cultures. Interesting, because they're using on a scale never attempted before. They actually mean a smaller scale. They've done a larger scale. Now this is the small scale. Okay, fine, whatever. Just a weird way to phrase it. Typically, marketing intern, hi, how's it going? When you're talking about on a scale never before seen, you typically think larger. You probably wanted to say on a more intimate scale. That's okay. Take that one for free, mate. We'll have more Warcry news for you and some closer looks at those stunning models in the coming weeks. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Also, minor note, Munchkin for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. But we'll leave that for the moment. So, yeah. Okay, let's very quickly talk about the trailer. We saw, obviously, all new models. Also, and obviously we don't know, it's pure speculation. It seems a little bit like there may be PvE elements to the game. We don't know, obviously, but there were some monsters there. And there was also some of the artwork kind of implied that perhaps your warband will have to travel, right? And you won't necessarily always be fighting an enemy warband. Perhaps during a travel you will have to fight the environment because you're in a chaos wasteland, and so there are nasty things there. That's pretty cool. I think we saw harpies of some sort. They have a name that's not harpies. I don't know what it is though. And we also saw some sort of beast, I think. Yeah, that's interesting. That appeals to me. Now, obviously, the community at large is very good at very quickly building solo play rules. But perhaps there will be solo play rules built in for the PvE element, if it exists, obviously. Obviously, the main thrust of the whole thing is you're going to fight other warbands. And they set us up with 6 symbols, which presumably are going to be the 6 from Season 1, because they like to make seasons out of things these days, are the 6 warbands. We saw 2 of them, one being a whippy guy and one being a normal guy with a weird helmet. That's cool. That's cool. We also saw some Chaos Dwarves. Um, we saw a guy that to me looked like a Skaven, but he wasn't. He just had a lot of fur on, I guess. All in all, cool. Nice. I'm hoping because it's narrative, they're going to let us do a lot of customization that we sadly lack in Kill Team. So hopefully we can take, let's say, much like you could take a Corridor gang in Necromunda. But in this one, yes, you can kit out their weapons and, who's senior, who's the war boss. That's an orc thing. Who's the tribal leader? Who's the veterans and who's the Juves, etc. Um, but then in this, obviously you could do that in Necromunda, but in this, then you can choose. Okay, well actually, the leader, of course, a wise leader, uh, follows Zinch, whereas all of the crazy little Juve guys, they all follow Korn because they're nuts. That would be really interesting, actually. I mean, less so from a rules perspective, and more just from how fun it could be to really create your own chaos warband, and not these big Age of Sigmar, wrathmongers who whip flails around constantly and they don't really exist, They're there, they're crazy. That's all you really know about them. But when they're off the battlefield, they're not real. It would be quite cool to I realise this is not Games Workshop's modus operandi, but to tone it down a little bit. And as they're saying, make them real. Because that to me is what's really interesting. It's almost something that allows me to role play. Like, I like building up little men and saying, this guy's mine. Oh, yeah, he got a scar on his face because when he was blah, 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 he was blah, blah, blah. And that's really cool. I enjoy that. I like writing little fluff about them because I'm weird. Kill Team doesn't really let you do that. Kill Team, for all of its merits and positives, isn't really your guys. Not the way Necromunda is. But from the sounds of it, this Warcry will be your guys. Now, we don't know. We don't know the rules. We don't really know. However, I'm being positive because I'm not positive. I will be negative. I've got enough of that in my life already. Hashtag so alone. However, I think this is good stuff. My only negative, and this is the big one, and it's pure fluff here. Why? So lots. So okay, so they took Warhammer Fantasy Battles and they ripped the world apart, and a lot of people died. Named characters died, but then some made it through to Age of Sigmar, right? I'm just saying, I want to visit Mordheim. Why didn't Mordheim make it through? Mordheim's cool. They could have got some bonus points with that, but they didn't. And anyway, long story short, I'm pretty excited for Warcry, although I now have a Khorne Bloodbound, Blades of Chaos, and Slave to Darkness army to paint. Pro tip, Slaves to Darkness, the acronym for the army is STD. So anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. Excited for Warcry. Summer, too long, can't wait. I'd love to know your thoughts on Warcry. Are you excited for it? Do you think I'm completely off the mark? Do you think I've said everything wrong? Probably, yes. Probably true. What do you hope they're going to do? Do you hope it's it's effectively Necromunda but Chaos and Age of Sigmar? Or do you actually want it to be a little bit more? I don't know. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've all had a great day and continue to have a great day. Bye.